Welcome back to FPL Spad, your best place to find FPL content for the 23-24 season. My name is Spad. Today, I'm sharing with you my top differentials for game week 12. There's quite a few good games coming up for this game week, and I've got some top differentials for you guys to pick from. If you like my content, please like, subscribe to my channel for future FPL content if you're new around here. Now let's get on with this differential video. So for the first differential, we have a goalkeeper in Sam Johnston. He's 4.6 million. His ownership is at 4.7 million. I think he's a great goalkeeper to bring in. In the next couple of 4 games, he has got good fixtures. Everton at home, Luton away, West Ham away, and Bournemouth at home. I expect him to keep a few clean sheets in those 4 games and make some save points and hopefully some bonus points if he keeps those clean sheets as well. So he gets a mega haul in one of those games. I just think he makes good amount of saves, and Chris Price to have a solid defence, so he is well capable of keeping clean sheets in the coming game weeks ahead. So in my opinion, a top differential. The next differential we have is Lascelles. In my opinion, he's a very cheap defender for Newcastle who's going to be playing a lot of games from now on until Botman's back. We don't know Botman's return date, so until then, he's a great 4 million option for a Newcastle defender who keep a lot of clean sheets, Newcastle do. And he's already kept 3 clean sheets already in the little games that he's played. He's got one easy good game coming up against Bournemouth away, but then 2 good hard games at home. Chelsea and United. Both of them are not at the best at the moment, so they can easily keep another couple of clean sheets in those games. So in my opinion, for 4 million cheap defender whose ownership is only at 4.1%, whose price could also go up as people bring him in, I think he is a top differential for a defender. Next up, for the first midfielder differential that I have, is Doku. He made a mega haul last week where everyone else blanked. It was a crazy week last week. Most people didn't make hardly any points. Some people got like 11, 12, 17 points. I was able to get 32, I think, in the end. Wasn't great, but I somehow still went up a rank. I'm happy about that. But this man here, if you had him in your team, he got 22 points straight up. And that was 4 assists and a goal. My mate had him. He made crazy amount of points. I think he's a gamble for the coming game weeks ahead, but he is still a good differential because we don't know what team he's going to play in the Champions League. Say if he doesn't play that Champions League game, he sure will play the Premier League game on the weekend. But it is a gamble with Pep because as they've got so many choices that they can play with. As Haaland went off the pitch, they might have another opening for another player on that pitch to replace Haaland because Alvarez will play a bit higher up. He's got a better chance of getting into that team. For that reason, he is a top differential to bring in as his quality that we've seen at Man City just produced all the time. And right now, he's showing that quality. Next up, we have Anthony Gordon, who's been a steady Eddie throughout this whole season. He's made quite a lot of points so far, 54. He's got this good game coming up against Bournemouth away, where they will be looking to get quite a few goals and increase their goal difference. But they've got 2 hard games at home, Chelsea and United. But I expect them to get results in those games because both those teams are not in form. And Gordon, like literally, he brings returns one week, maybe blank the next week, but he'll get points the week after. He's been a steady Eddie, 4 assists, 4 goals in 11 game weeks so far that's gone past. And I don't think he's played every single one of them as well. Because when Barnes was there, he was rotating with him. But as long as Barnes out, there's been no rotation for Gordon. He's more or less will be playing every game and probably improving in every game. So a great differential to bring in. His ownership is a little bit high, 8%, but low enough to be a top differential. Next up, we have another hard one, Cole Palmer at 5 million. He got a return last game week as Chelsea got late goals against Arsenal in that crazy game that we saw yesterday. That was madness. He got a goal and an assist in that game. Goal from a penalty. So more or less that's his 3rd penalty in a row that he's taken. So he's more or less nailed on to that penalty spot. So even the hard games they got coming up against City, Newcastle, Bournemouth at home, Man United away, those are some hard games, but they can easily get 1 penalty in that game and he will be taking that penalty. So that'll be 5 points straight away, and the 2 points for playing, 7 points straight away without even getting a clean sheet and without getting bonus. For 5 million, you cannot go wrong. He's on some set pieces, maybe get a set piece goal, but I doubt it. Most likely a penalty and maybe assist here and there, but maybe still lose the game, but might get a penalty. So a good differential to have for 5 million. Next up, one of my favorites, Hee-Chan Yang. Sorry, Hee-Chan, my bad. I expect him to continue returning at least goals and assists in the coming game weeks. I know he's only got 2 assists in the last 2 game weeks, and we're hoping to get a goal instead, because that's 2 extra points than an assist for midfielder. He has got a hard game at home against Tottenham, but Tottenham going to be without Udogie, Van der Ven, Romero, Madison probably as well. They're 4 main players out of their teams, and they'll be a lot weaker, and they're playing from away from home. They get that 1 week break just like Wolves do, so that won't be any helpful for them. In my opinion, Madison might make a return back, but I highly doubt it. It looked like he went down on his own. So that Tottenham game doesn't seem as hard as it did a few game weeks ago. So if you already got him, happy days. If not, you can bring him in. He's at 5.5 million. That's very, very cheap. Who's a player for pulling out the same returns as Gordon, 54 points so far this season. That's not bad. So I expect him to continue performing and hopefully get goals and assists in the coming game weeks ahead. So in my opinion, our top differential at 5% ownership. Next up, another differential as a 4-4 forward, Wilson. Whenever he plays, he scores goals. His mirror to goal ratio is one of the best in the league from last season. So as long as Isak is not going to be playing, he's a good player to have in your team who's likely to get you points. He's on penalties as well for Newcastle, so that's a plus. But he is able to finish chances. That's what he's great at. Like, if Nunes had the same finishing qualities as Wilson, man, he would be a crazy player. But he doesn't. But Wilson, quality in my opinion, got the best mirror to goal ratio in the Prem. So, good option to bring in, but you might have to take him out later on when Isak is back. That's the only problem with him. I think Isak might be back for game week 25 after international break. So that might be, you only have him for 1-2 game weeks maybe. So that's the gamble that you'll be taking. But it's Bournemouth away, so where they could be getting some goals. You never know. And finally, for my last differential, we have Nketiah. His price went up today to 5.7 million. People are bringing him in to have as a cheap third striker. Probably a lot of people have been taking Watkins out, or Haaland for some reason, I don't know why, or Alvarez, or maybe Nunes if you had him. Nunes probably not. Most likely Alvarez be taken out as he's a low price striker, and to replace him with an even lower price striker with Nketiah. They have got a good game coming up, Burnley at home, where I think he'll be looking to get another hat-trick like he did the game week before, where he got one. So for that reason, he's a top differential. Jesus is probably out for longer than Isak. His expected date is probably December time, so you will get a few good games out of him. Burnley at home, Brentford away, Wolves at home, even Luton away. Those are some serious games, as we don't know when Jesus is back. So it could be a very top differential, in my opinion. If you bring him in, his ownership is 9.5%. It's going up. He's just missed a cut, but it's because he's going up fast, because people are seeing the fixture list and they see Jesus ain't gonna be back for a while. So people are bringing him in. 165,000 people already bought him in this game week, and we're not even halfway to this game week, like before it starts. So people keep bringing him in. Could be a very top differential, but it is a gamble compared to the other strikers that you probably already have. But that is a choice that you have to make. But in my opinion, a top differential, if you need and plus, it opens up some money to use on your midfield. So could be a good option. So check that out. So from these differential choices that I've shown you, in my opinion, these 3 people are great buys to have. Gordon, Nketiah, and Cole. Palmer, sorry, not Cole. I don't know why I say Cole Palmer. Get him in, get Cole Palmer in as a cheap 5th option, if you've got 3 strikers already and you're going to rotate your midfield, maybe Cole Palmer could be the man at 5 million. Same goes with Nketiah as a third choice striker. Great option. But Gordon, he has to be part of your not rotating Gordon. You can't. You either have him in your team or you don't. So it's your choice in the end of the day. But I'm not a fan of rotating midfielders. Don't mind rotating goalkeepers, maybe defenders, but midfielders and strikers, no, because that's extra money that you're spending that you might need somewhere else, unless it's really, really cheap. That the fifth player that you have or the third attacker that you have is very cheap, aka Cole Palmer. So he could be a very top differential to bring in for this game week. So that's it for this top differential game week 12 video. I hope you enjoyed it and got some tips off it for your transfers to do for this game week ahead. We had a crazy game week last week where hardly anyone scored any points. Hopefully the coming game week ahead we score a lot more points and move up those ranks. I still somehow moved up the ranks by 2-3k. I'm now 27k and 800. I couldn't believe it, how I went up in rank, but that just shows you how bad everyone else did. It was a crazy week, and hopefully the coming game weeks ahead is much better. So pick your transfers wisely and get those top differentials in before anyone else, so the prices don't rise before you get them in. Price don't rise, so you get them in quick. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe to the channel. If you're new around here, please share it with your friends and family so I can grow. Thank you again for watching me. See you again next time. See ya!